Cliffe and his son did a brilliant job refuting the argument of an atheist who challenged the belief in intelligent design and the existence of God as the creator of the universe. Atheists have become so illogical, they now claim you can get something out of nothing, a notion that defies the law of logic and common sense. No one in their right mind would accept such a claim. But don't take it from me. Let's hear what Cliffe and his son have to say. Take a look.
Science was built off of Christians who said there's law, mathematical laws in this universe, so probably there's a lawgiver. That pushed them as creative minds to be scientists to figure out what the law is and who the lawgiver is himself. Okay. Call that a mind, call that a transcendent source, call it a higher power, but it's something outside of space and time because they knew something had to create space and time. It couldn't just pop up out of nowhere. A cell couldn't just pop up out of nowhere. That's why all the Keplers, the Galileos, even Einstein said it was such a major problem, so he eventually believed in God, because there had to be something outside of space and time that created space and time.
I just want to kind of challenge you on your two pieces of evidence for God.
Yes.
So, intelligent designer, you said the eye, human eye, so there has to be a designer. But then you also said evolution is true. So you don't need a designer for making eyes, do you? You can evolve an eye.
You never get something from nothing.
Quantum physics, again, kind of challenges that one.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
It challenges it, but it cannot make a strong case. Why? Because it's a philosophical issue. It's not a scientific issue. Can you get something from nothing?
There's a book called Something from Nothing. A Universe from Nothing by Lawrence Krauss. Have you read it?
So, no, I've not read it.
Okay.
I think the bigger question is, what is nothing? How do you define nothing? Let's start from there.
No, it's impossible philosophically for you to get something where there's nothing. It's irrational. The only thing that comes from nothing is nothing. You never get something coming from nothing. Second point is, where is the creative mechanism in evolution? The creative mechanism in evolution does not exist. There is no creative mechanism in evolution. Is there?
There's 2 points. There's the evolution and making an eye, and then there's the universe from nothing. That's two kind of separate arguments, right?
Yeah, one is design, and the other is something from nothing.
Yes.
Two different arguments, yes.
Okay. So, something from nothing. Firstly, we're not 100% sure the Big Bang is the beginning of the universe.
We're not 100% sure of anything.
So
Agreed.
There are many different other theories than
Yes.
a God.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the multiverse. God is one of many theories for how our universe came to be. Would you agree?
No. There are many different theories. Agree with you on that. But no. The idea of a multiverse has zero evidence to support it.
I would
It's
not agree with
impossible
that.
to, well, all right, fine. What's the evidence that they're multiverses?
Cosmic inflation. So directly after the Big Bang, there was a period of inflation. Not the inflation we see in the universe now. There was a speeded up inflation period. And the best explanation for that at the moment is kind of like a mother universe with many patches that experience inflation. And so there's many universes out there. That's kind of the one.
The mother universe.
And yes. And then
Has little
Did you guys understand what he just said? A mother universe, you know, and that birthing other universe. In order for you to have a universe that birth other universe, that universe has to be fine-tuned. In order for you to have a perfect universe that, you know, is able to sustain life. It's just illogical. It doesn't make any sense. Let's continue.
Of the different universes. What on earth does that mean?
it means there's a kind of bigger reality outside of the universe we see and know.
What's the evidence that there's a bigger reality outside of this universe that we live in?
There are different models.
Models?
Yes.
So because there's someone has, with a fertile imagination, come up with another model?
Like the God hypothesis, yes. That's also just a model.
No, it's not. It is based on my experience of reality, which is, you don't get order and design by accident.
Yeah,
This BMW is not a result of an explosion in a junkyard. Shakespeare's plays are not a result of an explosion over a computer or from monkeys tapping on the computer. You only get order and design, be it a building, a car, an article of clothing, if there's a rational mind involved.
That's not entirely true.
Well, then give me some examples that contradict it.
Again, there's two different arguments here. There's the universe one, and then there's design or kind of complex, mechanisms out there, like the eye. Or you can get humans from evolution, starting with a basic replicator.
Well, I said that. I agreed with that.
But why do you then need a designer?
Because you do not have order and design without an intelligent mind involved. And secondly, you don't get something coming from nothing. It's impossible.
Again, that's two different arguments. Let's
I'm aware it's two different arguments.
Which one do you want to argue? Let's do the evolution one, right? Okay. So imagine there's a very basic molecule, right? And it can replicate itself in the primordial soup, as it's been called. Over 4 billion years, directed by natural selection, not a designer, not a god, you can evolve complex life, starting from a very simple basic building block. Do you agree with that or not?
I think it's rather clear that it's impossible to get a genetic code out of primordial soup by accident.
I want to say this to an atheist that's watching this video. If I were to tell you somewhere in Oklahoma there was a big explosion, and out of that explosion a perfect Lamborghini was made, would you believe me? Would you accept a person who think like that? You wouldn't. But why do you apply it when it comes to evolution, when it comes to the existence of God, that we don't need a God? How does it apply? Let me know in the comment.
The genetic code where proteins are allowed to be produced is far too complex a genetic code for me to say, okay, it's all just an accident. It just happens by chance.
It can't happen by chance.
The amount of information in the DNA of a single cell is far more than the amount of information in 3 sets of the 30-volume Encyclopedia Britannica.
And that is
when
true.
you study the amount of information in the DNA of a cell, it is mind-boggling.
Yes,
and it's real simple.
4 billion years.
So what if it's a few billion years? I don't care if it's a trillion years. You don't get that kind of order and design by chance. There's got to be an intelligent mind of some type.
Again, it's not complete chance. The mutations are chance, but it's guided by natural selection.
No. You do not have 1 + 1 = 2 guiding anything. 1 + 1 = 2 is a very accurate description, mathematically, in arithmetic, of if you have 1 and another 1, it equals 2. But guess what? 1 + 1 = 2 does not put any money in my bank account. I have to put the money, an intelligent being, into my bank account. Now, is 1 + 1 = 2 true? Yes, it is. But it doesn't do anything creative. It simply describes reality, which is if you have 1 + 1, then you got 2. That's what science is. That's what mathematics is. It's tremendously sophisticated. It's absolutely magnificent. I love it. But it is intellectually dishonest to say, therefore, because I know that 1 + 1 = 2, therefore I'm going to have $2 in my bank account. No. It's not just going to happen.
I honestly do not understand your argument there.
That's okay.
I'm just saying, this 1 + 1 = 2 abstract numbers, that's not where I'm going with this. I'm just saying that the accumulation of very simple processes can lead to something complex.
How in the world, though, do you believe in that naturalistic process if modern science, just recently in the last 10 years, there's consensus on a cell cannot evolve? There's trucks within a cell that work together, but there's no evolutionary process with a cell.
Any non-Christian apologetic scientist that you can point me to?
I don't know many scientific apologists who are non-Christian.
A single cell, there's evidence for when the first single cell engulfed another cell, and that was the start of multicellular life, right? They've reproduced that process in the lab.
No.
So so once you have that, then you can.
But there's no scientific evidence to that. There's no evidence behind that. You just asked me where I got mine. Where do you get the evidence that Lawrence Krauss does not? I've talked to Lawrence Krauss before. He does not believe that. He does not say that a cell can just pop up out of nowhere and then just evolve and self-replicate.
I also never say the cell pops out of nowhere.
Okay. So where does it come from then?
Okay, so firstly, that's okay. I do not know.
Okay,
right?
good.
Bravo. All right, bravo. Very good.
It's fine not to know, but science is working on that problem. That's a big, active scientific field to find the first building blocks
And
of
that's a great
life.
out for you. It's the science of the gap. Science eventually will just figure it out.
That's how science works.
No. Science is dedicated to discovery, but that is such a nice out for you to say, oh, there's no...
Atheists have such faith in science, but when you say you have faith in God, they have a big problem with that. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
God, but science will just figure it out one day. No, God absolutely is a creative, you want to talk about process, just call it a mind out there. If modern science was built off of Christians who said there's law, mathematical laws in this universe, so probably there's a lawgiver, that pushed them as creative minds to be scientists to figure out what the law is and who the lawgiver is himself. Okay. Call that a mind. Call that a transcendent source, call it a higher power, but it's something outside of space and time because they knew something had to create space and time. It couldn't just pop up out of nowhere. A cell couldn't just pop up out of nowhere. That's why all the Keplers, the Galileos, even Einstein said it was such a major problem, so he eventually believed in God, because there had to be something outside of space and time that created space and time.
I'm going to preface what I'm going to say with, I know that's not how it happened, but the Urey Miller experiments in the 1950s, where they put a couple of element components in a flask, added energy, they show that you can get the beginnings of amino acids.
And that was totally disproved. Totally disproved by NASA. NASA totally disproved it.
They had it wrong what elements
That's
were
right, exactly.
available.
So they're wrong.
But it kind of shows you that there are ways that you can do it. People are still working on this.
Yeah, outside of reality, there are ways.
No.
Poof, it can happen.
If you go
Why do you believe poof, it can happen? Well, it's outside of reality.
If you go to conferences on this, there are people working on models, working on ideas how you could either, vents under the sea, these hot thermal vents, how you can create life there, how you can do it. I mean, there are many different theories out there. People are working on it.
But see, this is all you're saying.
Just have faith that we will find
Exactly. You just have faith. Science. No disrespect by this, but you just stepped up, and all you're saying is, well, no God. We just came from nothing, and science will figure it out. And there's models out there, but you're not giving the models. You're just saying there's models, and somehow science will figure it out. Well, where is the best evidence coming from? You need more than just saying there's models and science is going to figure it out. I need more than that. You see that?
A couple of years ago, we didn't even know there were other galaxies. Should we just have assumed, let's not do science. Science is never going to find. Let's just believe that we're the only.
Studying.
We should keep on doing science, asking questions and finding the answers, right?
If you can buy fully into that, so no God, there's no objective purpose, you came from nothing, there's no meaning in your life, you're going nowhere, you're just going to the grave, and that's all. So you need to buy into, I'm glad you brought up Lawrence Krauss and your boys, Dawkins and Hitchens and all of them. They clearly stated, you have no purpose, you're an accident, you have no meaning. You make up how you want to treat other people. Ultimately, it's all about just propagating the gene pool, survival of the fittest. So if you want to sleep with somebody else's wife, if that's going to get you ahead, you go ahead and do that. And just don't let them figure it out. But in terms of it being consistent with your theory, in terms of survival of the fittest, strong eat the weak, and I want to propagate my own genes, Genghis Khan, just go ahead and sleep with your friend's wife.
No, okay, so there's still objectively okay, let me say it like this. I don't think there's objective morality, but we do create morality because there's a better strategy for survival. And a good strategy for survival between humans, where we live as social animals, is to work together. So me not sleeping with my friend's wife is because we have social rules for the flourishing of humanity. It's better to work together than against each other.
So the only reason why you're not sleeping with your friend's wife is just because you kind of want to work together from an evolutionary perspective. That's what's holding you back?
Well, depends what is my friend's wife look. It depends my friend. What friend are we talking about? Can I turn this against you
At least he's honest. Most people are not honest.
again quickly? What about slavery? Is slavery wrong?
Absolutely yes.
Does the Bible say it's wrong?
Absolutely yes.
Please tell me where.
It starts in Genesis chapter 1. God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. It goes on to Exodus chapter 21 verse 16 where we read, if you kidnap someone and are caught either still possessing them or having sold them, you are to be put to death. Death penalty.
Okay. Rules for treating your slave in the Bible. At no point does
That's
God
right.
say slavery is wrong.
Oh, God says it's totally wrong.
No.
Just read the letter of Philemon. Paul writes to a slave owner, Philemon, I have met your runaway slave Onesimus in prison. I've led him to Christ. I want him to come back to you. Please accept Onesimus back, no longer as a slave, but as a brother in Christ.
If you're an atheist watching this video and you want to know the evidence for God, just look at the universe. Order and design of the universe point to a designer, and this designer is God. If it is the first time in this channel, please consider like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.